And then we're back with the...
Welcome to Stargatesing, a Stargate gazing podcast. I'm your host, Mary.
And I'm your other host, Kathy.
And each week we review an episode of Stargate alternating between SG1 and Atlantis. Hello.
How are we doing?
I am fine. How are you?
I am also fine.
Excellent.
How's things?
Oh, thrilling. I left a contract negotiation observation to come record, which is always thrilling because even though, as I've mentioned, our contract expired, I think I've mentioned on here, I know I've told many people in general, our union contract expired back in July, and it is currently March, and we still don't have one. I very frequently sit in on the negotiations, which they broadcast over Zoom.
How's that going?
It seems to be going nowhere, so...
Cool.
Yeah, it's great. It's good times.
Yeah.
Super awesome.
Yeah.
One of these days, we'll supposedly have a contract again. It is supposed to be done, like, by the end of this month, but yeah, who knows? We'll see.
Yeah. Ugh. Yeah. We'll be doing that this year. I think they're probably already doing that. I don't know.
Hopefully.
I hope so.
Hopefully so. So
hope it goes well.
Sit in on those things and listen while I work on PowerPoints or whatever.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's interesting when it is something that I actually care about or that directly affects me, but mostly it's boring and tedious.
I don't think I'm able to sit in on any negotiations. I don't think they share those.
You should be able to.
I don't know.
Generally, it is supposed to be open to dues-paying members of unions. At least that is the policy of our union, and I would imagine that should be the policy for most unions. So if you're a member of our union but you don't pay dues, you are not allowed to sit in on it.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, not sure. Never gotten any word that it's a possibility, so...
Yeah. Fair. I mean, I don't imagine most people would care. I care because I'm a union delegate, and I am sometimes voting on the things that they're then later talking about in these negotiations, so...
Yeah.
Or sometimes voting on things that they have discussed in those negotiations and then need to be approved or voted on as to whether or not the union is going to accept them. I sometimes am involved in that kind of stuff.
Gotcha. Ours generally, I feel like, goes okay. I don't know how it's going to go this year when our university ludicrously is going to be crying poor like never before.
Yeah.
But
there are multiple layers of complication added to mine.
Yeah.
In that it is a state job.
Right.
So it needs to be approved by our Board of Regents and then also multiple levels of the state government.
Yeah.
As well as the governor himself.
Ugh, the governor.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Well, this is cheerful.
This is super cheerful, and yet I would still rather be talking about this than this episode.
Agreed. I wish I had something more fun to talk about.
Yeah. What is this episode that we are once again procrastinating talking about?
This is Stargate SG1, Season 10, Episode 18. What is that? There are two more after this?
There are two more after this.
Family Ties. I would also rather watch reruns of that all day than watch this episode ever again.
What would this be? Semi-ultimate? Penultimate is second to last. What is third to last? No idea.
I don't know. But here we are.
Here we are.
Third to last.
Third to last.
Going out with a whimper.
Sure are. Yikes. Just yikes. Yep. It really is. And it's annoying me and also making me sad at the same time.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe they'll rally. Because there were some good episodes this season. And I was like,
it's
okay,
true.
Cool. Well, maybe they'll, take that energy and carry it through to the end and go out with a bang. I'm not convinced that's going to happen at this point.
No, and I don't know for the upcoming last two, but I was reading for this one, it was already in the pipe before they knew they were canceled.
Seriously?
So they really couldn't, yeah. I mean, without being canceled, this could just be a random turd in the middle of a season, right? But unfortunately, it's the third to last episode of the show.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. Spoiler, we liked it so much.
Oh, yeah. It was a great episode. I actually don't think I hated it quite as much as you did based on your text messages, but I did not like it either.
It's like, why am I wasting my time with any of these people? Why?
So shall we get started with this wonderful episode?
I suppose we can get started with this.
Excellent.
We're in the SGC to start with. We've got our regular dramatic military music opening, but Sam and Vala are strolling through the halls in some civilian clothing, some pretty dresses, and they've got shopping bags. They're having a girls' day.
See, this annoyed me very much because the stereotype that all women love shopping is one that I despise.
Yes. Don't you all love to go out, get pedicures, and do mochachinos while going to Victoria's Secret with your friends?
No, I don't like any of those things. I've had a pedicure a few times. I don't like it. I will go with my sister if she really wants me to, but I don't like people playing with my feet.
No.
And I do like a mochaccino, but I would rather just have a straight up coffee or maybe a latte, and I hate shopping.
Yeah. So right up your alley here.
Yeah. Also, why were they taking all their shopping bags back to the base?
Well, because Vala lives there still.
Well, yes,
apparently.
But Sam doesn't.
That's true, but maybe all of that stuff is Vala's.
Maybe it is. Yes, that's possible.
Also, they're about to go off somewhere, apparently, we find out. Although
True.
I think that gets waylaid, but...
Then why are they bringing all their stuff in instead of leaving it in Sam's car?
I don't know. Because they're going to put it in Vala's bedroom in the base.
Yeah, it's weird. It's just a weird scene. Anyway, continue.
So weird.
I
Anyway, yeah, they're walking through. They're getting people's attention just walking through. Mitchell is coming towards them, talking to Siler. And I didn't pick up on this while I was watching it, but they're talking about a show that got canceled. So this is one of multiple references.
Oh, I didn't even notice that either.
About their own cancellation. So this is, yeah, that's what Mitchell's talking about. And Siler, I don't know, he sees Sam and Vala and just turns around and leaves, but he walks into a door behind him that's open.
Yeah, they had just closed a fire door behind him or something in the hallway. And that was amusing to me.
I'll be in my bunk.
I was happy to see Siler getting hurt. But...
Same. Poor Siler.
Yeah. Mitchell stops to talk to them about their girls' day out. But he lets them know they have to go in an hour. They have their scheduled off-world time. They're going off-world, so maybe change your clothes. But they are interrupted by Pualter and the alarms blaring that there is an unscheduled off-world activation. So they head to the control room instead, where Landry is getting a video message from some dude. This dude is like, hello, this thing working? Hello, who's this? I'm looking for General Landry. When Landry's like, this is General Landry. What the hell do you want? This guy's like, oh, I've heard good things about you. I have this friend. He's got a beard. You know that guy, right? The guy with the beard. It's just weird.
It is. Quite.
Yeah. Landry doesn't care about any of this either. He's like, tell me what you want. And this guy says he's got some information that could impact the survival of Earth. Vala, when she comes in, immediately recognizes this man as Jasek, her father.
Neat.
Credits.
Okay. I have so many questions just as a result of Vala having a father that is still alive.
Yeah, how long was she a system lord?
And yes, that is primarily what it focuses around. I had gotten the impression that she was a system lord for a long time.
Yeah, I thought it was a while.
So how is her dad still alive? Was he also a Goa'uld at some point? Or is he not actually human? Or did he find a stasis chamber somewhere? What's his deal? How is he not dead? And then also, where's her mom then? What, is her mom still alive somewhere?
Yeah, we don't really see anything about her mom.
No.
Where's her Vala resolves her issues with her mom episode?
Right, exactly.
We've got 2 more. Let's just do that.
Right. Seriously. Yeah, that annoyed me a lot because this just completely messes up with their claims that she was a Goa'uld for however long.
Yeah, very strange.
Very strange. Anyway, after credits, Jasek sees Vala standing there in the room. I wanted to know where the camera was because they're standing right in front of the window and they're not standing together. They're all spread out. So how do you see her over there? I don't know. Who knows? And he wants to know how life is treating her. She's like, yep, great, I'm fine. So he jokingly and obnoxiously says that I suppose for the benefit of your friends, you're going to want to list all the reasons why I was such a bad father. So that's really obnoxious thing to say in front of all of these people, including the person that is her boss. What a douche.
Yep.
And also that's just so condescending and belittling and patronizing. Yuck. Yeah. Anyway, there was a bit of back and forth, a snarky back and forth where it is very clear that they do not have a very good relationship. And Jasek mentions Vala's ability to hold a grudge like her mother's. And that was also disgusting. And I hated that part too. Jasek, though, gets to the point and tells Landry that he wants to be allowed to come through to the base. Landry's like, I guess so, as long as Vala will vouch for you. Vala's like, of course not. Absolutely not. But Jasek says that he has some information about Arkad's plot. And even though Sam reminds him that Arkad is dead, that the plot has not been stopped. It is still in motion, and he's got information that can help them because the entire planet could blow up at any moment. So no pressure, but you might want to let me through to talk to you.
I was glad they addressed this. Like, Arkad, they said, had like a whole ass army.
Yeah.
That wasn't just going to disappear because one guy died.
Right.
So I'm glad at least they are pursuing this a little.
Fair.
Except we didn't need Jasek for that.
No.
You do not want to be on a cruise ship when dysentery breaks out.
Yeah. So instead of bringing Jasek to Earth, SG1 goes to meet him. I don't know if it's on the planet he called from, some planet they meet on. Vala and Jasek, when they meet, have some more back and forth about how much he sucked as a father. Vala tells him she's lucky she's not allowed to kill him. In fact. So Mitchell's like, let's get back down to business. Let's talk about Arkad and his attacks. Jasek's like, I'm going to tell you everything, but I want sanctuary on Earth. Sure, I was a bad husband and a bad father, but I'm trying to get better, so here I am. I want sanctuary, I'm going to help. It's going to be great. What has happened?
Let's start right out. Hey, what happened?
Is that Arkad, before death, filled up a bunch of cargo ships with Naquita bombs to send to Earth to blow it up.
Great.
And those ships are still out there somewhere, and only Jasek knows where they are.
Next, we are in the briefing room with SG1. Vala is, not surprisingly, very skeptical about what her dad is up to. She says that he's spent his entire life taking advantage of people. So basically, he's a criminal, as bad as she was, if not worse. And so she doesn't think that they can believe anything that he has to say. And she's sure that he's only here because he's trying to hide from somebody or trying to get something from somebody. But everybody else reminds her that they can't really take the chance that he is lying, because if he is telling the truth, then they are in a lot of trouble and they need to figure out where those Naquita-loaded cargo ships are. Vala is not at all convinced that he's telling the truth, but everybody else is willing to give him the benefit of the doubt. Teal'c says he has not been able to get any information from the Jaffa that would confirm any part of his story, but that still doesn't mean he's not out there, because Daniel says that Arkad would have been careful to cover up his tracks if he had, in fact, been planning this whole thing. So they need to be quick about it, just in case it's true. So Landry gives them the order that they're going to check it out and give Jasek whatever deal it is that he wants, if it turns out to be real.
Yay.
Woo.
Then we're at the infirmary with Lamb. Remember Lamb? She was in the last episode, I think. We were both like, oh yeah, her.
After not being in it for a season and a half?
Yeah. And I think we even talked about how, I guess their issues are just resolved, hers and Landry's. But
Apparently
no,
not.
We get this joy in this episode of more of their fun times. We do see Lamb is checking on Siler's nose.
With a bandage on it that would seem to indicate it's broken.
Poor Siler.
Poor Siler.
Still happy you got hurt, Siler. Love watching you get hurt.
Indeed. I think Siler's my favorite character at this point.
I think that's a good option. Mine might be Dr. Lee. I still enjoy him quite a lot.
Fair. I mean, Teal'c has been my favorite character pretty much for the vast majority of this, but really that last episode kind of ruined it for me. We've seen him behave pretty badly in the past, but this was even worse.
And then he's barely in this one.
Yeah.
Landry is there to talk to Lamb out of the blue about getting in touch with Lamb's mother. Because he's been thinking it's time for him to talk, make peace with the family.
Why?
After all this time.
I don't understand this plot line of Lamb being angry at Landry for not talking to her mom ever, or why Landry would feel compelled to talk to her. They're divorced. Yeah. It's not like they're just separated. They're divorced. And she is grown up. So if you are divorced with a grown kid, like I can see if your kid is still a kid, you need to stay in touch with the parent. If the other parent, if your ex is still involved in the kid's life. But if the kid's an adult, why? My parents don't talk.
Right?
I don't think they've talked in decades. They probably haven't talked since right after they got divorced, which was a very long time ago at this point. And I don't begrudge either of them for the fact that they don't talk to each other, because that is for the best. They got divorced for a reason.
Yeah. But here we are. Landry wants to talk to Mom. Lamb's like, I guess. But with attitude, because that's,
because reasons.
So she's like, how do you want to talk to Mom? And Landry's like, can you mediate for me? How about you talk to her first? Yes. On my behalf. It's so weird.
It is so weird.
But for some reason, Lamb's like, that's fine. Mom's away. She's in Europe still. But when she gets back, I'll call her and put in a good word for you. Yay. I can't stress how much I did not give a shit about this subplot.
Right? I really didn't either. The only thing that I really cared about was I didn't understand why it was here. Like, I understand that I guess they want to have Lamb and Landry get over whatever their deal is, but I did not understand at all why Lamb cares if he talks to her mom, or why Landry would feel the need to talk to her, or why her mom would feel the need to talk to Landry. It made no sense to me.
None.
And therefore, why should we care?
Yeah. She could have just not been in the series for the rest of it and it would have been fine.
Would not have noticed. Yep.
Nope.
Exactly.
Or she was just there doing her job as the fucking doctor.
Also would have been fine.
Yeah.
But no, we have to have this extra weird complication.
Yep.
It's just fucking weird. Anyway, sometime later, we're up on the Odyssey. They're orbiting whatever the random planet is that Jasek sent them to try to get more intel that can supposedly give him more evidence that his story is true or whatever. Vala says that they've come all this way for nothing because she's still standing by her story that he is full of shit and that he is playing everybody for fools. So he's going to send them on whatever wild goose chase he needs to in order to get whatever it is that he's actually trying to get.
Fly, you fools!
And Mitchell says, well, it's not a complete waste because if the ships aren't here where they are supposedly hanging out waiting to be deployed, then they've called his bluff. And that proves that Vala is right. And we already know Vala is right. Or at least she already knows that Vala is right. Vala's right.
Vala's right.
So they get to the planet. They start scanning. There are a whopping 12 life signs on the surface of the planet.
I just love scanning for life forms.
And also lots of naquita. So that is kind of maybe partially supporting the intel. Like lots of naquita. According to Sam, the readings are through the roof. But that does not mean that there are any ships there getting ready to take off with it. Sam does mention, though, that they've been detected and they are making a break for it, but doesn't say who. And Teal'c says those ships must not be allowed to escape. But there isn't actually any mention that they've detected ships, just the 12 life signs on the planet and the naquita. So this didn't make a ton of sense to me.
Now, it was weird. They should have put a line in about how they detected people and ships on the planet.
Right? Because they said the people were on the surface. So, I mean, obviously the ships could also be on the surface, but it was just weird that there was no mention of any ships or how many, and just that there were humans in Naquita.
Yep.
So the Odyssey fires on the planet and hits something. There's a big explosion because there was Naquita there. Whether or not there were any ships there, who knows? And then there was also some secondary massive explosion elsewhere because apparently there was just literally a shit ton of Naquita everywhere.
All the Naquita.
So much Naquita.
Remember when they just try to get that Naquita instead of just blowing
it up? Yeah.
Then we're back in the SGC after this wonderful mission. Vala is trying to convince Landry not to trust her father and not to go through on the deal they made to give him refuge. But Landry's like, I gave him my word. That's how he talks.
Yep,
I gave him my word. Vala's like, well, then maybe we work with your words. So sanctuary could mean anything. It could mean being in jail the rest of his life, but on Earth. How about that? Landry's like, no. Too bad. They arrive at the Stargate where we see it is open and Jasek is coming through with a bunch of SG personnel carrying a shit ton of bags belonging to Jasek. He's moving in.
Great.
He says he'll be back for the rest of his stuff later. He's got so much stuff.
I said take only what you need to survive.
Landry greets him. And Jasek is like, I'm so excited. Brand new world, fresh start. I'm going to like it here so much. It's going to be amazing. Vala is disgusted by him. He finger guns her, which is gross. That sounds weird. He's like doing finger guns at her.
Which is also still weird, though, because a finger gun implies that you're like, shooting the person you're giving finger guns to, which is his daughter.
Yeah. It's weird.
Which I realize that, like, it's a fairly common thing, which is not necessarily intending violence, but it still is weird to me that anybody would use it for any reason towards someone that they like or don't like, for that matter.
I think I've only ever used sarcastic finger guns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair. But these don't seem sarcastic.
No.
They seem like they're attempting to be endearing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It's still boggling my mind.
Mellow greetings. What seems to be your boggle?
That what you said before, that this was already in the works before they found out they were canceled, and then they still decided to go with just 3 episodes left. Okay, but it's literally all that is running through my head right now.
I'm so sorry.
It's fine. Everything's fine. Sometime later, Vala is in her quarters, got her hair all up in curlers, and she's in her silky bathrobe, and then Landry's there coming in. He knocks on the door first. He doesn't just let himself in.
That would be weird.
That would be very weird. He gives her an envelope that came for her today, and it is from her dad. Vala doesn't want to read it and doesn't care about it, so she throws it in the trash can. It's apparently now been 3 weeks since he came to Earth, and she's been ignoring every attempt that he's made to get in touch with her. But Landry thinks family should always come first, and I wanted to be like, well, who the fuck are you to judge, Landry? Because you've been absent from your family your whole life, and now you're going to judge Vala for not wanting to deal with her dad, who's been a sucky dad?
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought it was shitty how judgmental he was coming across.
Yeah, well, he can't fix his relationship, so maybe he can fix Vala's.
Yeah. It's dumb.
Yeah.
It's very dumb.
Agreed.
Vala asks him if he was absent for the first 3 years of his daughter's life because he was too busy running scams out of the nihilist sector, but Landry says no, but his career did always take precedent, and he missed all kinds of important things like birthdays and anniversaries, and even Lamb's graduation, so that is also shitty. But Vala doesn't really see a comparison, because at least Landry had a real job, whereas her dad was just a criminal, and was only ever really come home when he needed to hide out. Landry asks what things were like when he was home, and Vala did actually have a good relationship with him at some point when she was younger. She would be delighted to find out that he was home and hear stories from him. But then he would never stay around too long. He would always have some kind of a pretty trinket, jewelry thing, whatever, some kind of a gift for her, and she treasured those in a box. But that he was absent more often than not. But Landry's like, see, you got good memories in there. That's got to count for something. It just smacked of desperation on his part. As though he was thinking, well, if Vala and her dad can get through this, maybe Lamb and I can too?
Yeah. Then we get to see that, unlike his daughter, Jacek gets to just live in an apartment out in the world.
Yeah, I thought it was weird.
Teal'c can't live out in the world.
No.
Jacek can. It's fine.
Yeah.
For reasons.
Yep.
It's cool. He wears a Hawaiian shirt and stuff.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's fun being up this late, too. I'm not even tired.
And pals around with old ladies playing bingo in his apartment.
And swindling them out of their money.
Yes. Which is what is happening when Daniel and Mitchell come to visit him. Daniel and Mitchell are both wearing leather jackets, t-shirts, and jeans. The only thing that separates them are the different colors of the clothing they're wearing. They're practically twins.
I hadn't even noticed. That's very funny. I was too distracted by what Jacek was wearing and also just looking around his very tacky apartment.
I was like, wait, which one's which? No. This ends bingo time, and that's when we do see him collecting cash from all of the old ladies as they leave his apartment.
With walkers, and they're like hobbling out.
I also think he cheated at bingo.
Yes.
I'm just saying.
I don't know how you cheat at bingo, but I'm pretty sure he's figured out some way to do it.
Yeah.
And the fact that they're like hobbling out infirm just made it that much more gross that he was doing this to them.
Daniel and Mitchell are there because they've heard Jacek isn't being a model citizen in this new place of his.
Shocking.
He's done charity phone scams already.
Great.
About somebody who needed a new kidney. Cool.
It's almost like Vala knew what she was talking about when she told them that he was just a scammer who can't be trusted and also a thief.
Right? Jacek defends himself, though. He's like, I barely get any free money from the Air Force. What am I supposed to do?
I wanted to know why he was getting any free money from the Air Force. He's not doing any work for them. Why the fuck are they giving him a stipend?
I don't know. It's so bad.
Is it more or less than what Teal'c, Daniel, and Vala get?
Yeah. It's so stupid.
I mean, Daniel, they've at least got to pay because he's a U.S. citizen, but Teal'c and Vala, yeah, what are they getting? Are they getting money? Hopefully, I would hope they're getting more.
I hope
but
so.
Since he's living off base, I was wondering if he's getting more.
I mean, he's got to pay for that apartment.
Right.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So, but anyway, he's like, guys, I swear I'm trying, okay? I'm just trying to be a better guy here by scamming old ladies and making up kidney schemes. And I'm hoping Vala will understand. So maybe you help me with that? Daniel's like, you want us to talk to her for you? And Jacek's like, well, maybe we trick her into coming here, but talking, if that works, that's probably better. And he begs them. He really needs to see Vala. He'd be happy to work out an arrangement if they need money or something. So I'm not sure what this accomplished for them because Daniel and Mitchell are just kind of like, what the fuck?
Yep.
But Jacek wants to see Vala, I guess, is the overall conclusion of this scene. And whether or not Mitchell and Daniel help, I can't remember what happens next.
I would think that Daniel, well, I don't think we actually even see the conversation. She just shows up there. So I would assume that Daniel would have more sway over Vala than Landry would and convinced her somehow to go and visit. But yeah, we don't get any of that. Next, though, we are in Landry's office, and Lam is there. Good news! She's talked to Mom, and her mom is going to be in Colorado Springs on Friday, and they're going to have dinner, and it's going to be great.
Woohoo!
But Lam has to come along with them, because she's, again, got to be the moderator for the two of them.
Oh, yeah.
Mediator, both, whatever.
Chaperone?
Yes. Landry doesn't seem pleased. Lam, for whatever reason, says she thought he'd be thrilled. I don't know why. And he's like, yeah, I totally am. I am thrilled. That's great news. So Lam's going to make them some reservations and also don't wear that brown sports jacket with the patches.
I second that. I haven't even seen it, but I'm going with it.
Fair. And then we are out in an elevator. Vala's out there, hanging out by the elevator when Mitchell and Daniel come in and ask where she's been. Oh, I guess we do see this. I just blanked out over this part.
Me
so
too.
they tell her she needs to go see her dad. And that's basically it, which is probably why we both forgot that this scene was a thing. But she'd already apparently decided to visit him anyway, so they didn't need to convince her, which makes this and also the scene where they were at his apartment pointless.
True. Gotta fill that time and show how scammy he is.
Yep.
So Vala goes to see him. He's very happy to see her. She's less thrilled to be there just by her demeanor. She says she's there not to reconcile. She doesn't want to understand his behavior any better. She has only come for catharsis for herself. So she tells him, how dare you show up after all this time? You were never there for my mother. You were never there for me. Even though we were always there for you. It's a speech. It's good. I'm glad she got it out.
Good for her. But it is, your generic daddy issues kind of speech.
Yeah.
There's nothing new in this episode.
Yeah, she's like, I have a happy life now. Don't ruin this for me. And that's all she wants. So she's like, all right, I'm going to go. And Jason's like, but I made pie, even though it didn't seem like he knew she was coming.
Yeah.
So it wasn't pie for her. It was just
Nope.
pie for pie's sake, which is not a bad thing, but she doesn't need to stay for that.
Nope.
He's like, but maybe there's more to this. You could have just said all this in a letter, but you came to see me. Huh? Hugs? Vala says she's only there to make her friends happy and to stop them from trying to force this on her. They continue to talk about Vala having the opportunity to change and have friends who trust her. Why can't he get the same thing? I'm trying to change too. Vala does not buy this at all. She's like, nope, I'm gonna go now. And he's like, before you do, I have another trinket for you. And you still keep my box of trinkets, right? And she's like, fuck no. And then he apologizes for something. He doesn't say what, he just says, I'm sorry. And then basically she leaves.
Yep.
Yeah. Though she does say, I'll be in touch.
She does. Jasek did mention that he would like her to call him dad for once in the last 20 years, which once again made me wonder, how long was she ago old?
True, yes.
5 minutes?
Maybe.
Just so weird.
She learned a lot from those 5 minutes.
Yeah. Vala makes her way back to the base. Sam finds her out in a hall somewhere and says, you're gonna want to see this. Sam found a thing on the internet, and that thing is her dad's infomercial. Very cheesy infomercial. He is selling the power of Stardust, which is clearly just glitter in a bottle. But he's selling it for $19.95. Or $49.95?
A deep discount at $19.95.
I see. Yes, that's right. I was like, why is this telling me it's two different prices? That's why. Yes. That's all we get of that scene is just the infomercial. And then sometime later, we're in the briefing room. Jasek is there and is like, it wasn't real Stardust. And obviously, everybody knew that. And that was the whole point. He cannot come here and scam everybody on this planet out of their money. But he didn't really see a big deal about it because it was $20 plus shipping and handling. So, that's not that much, right? Mitchell reminds him that he is a guest on this planet, and so he needs to follow things like house rules, such as not scamming everybody who is not a guest on this planet. Jasek says, well, now you're going to just tell me I can't publish my diet book to eat for your eye color. He's got a publisher lined up and everything.
Oh, dear God.
I hate scammy diets so much because I've dealt with so many of them in my line of work.
People would fucking buy that shit.
Yep. They absolutely would. So Jasek says fine, no more scams. Mitchell had threatened to kill the book deal, but I guess he's not going to bother to, even though that itself is a scam.
I guess.
On his way out, we hear Jasek asking the guard that is escorting him if he plays poker. Or 21, blackjack, anything? So clearly he's holding to his word of not cheating anybody out of any money.
He hasn't cheated at those games yet. Yeah. And then Teal'c takes over escorting Jasek. who tells him to be less annoying. And I was like, thank you so much, Teal'c.
Yes.
And also, maybe leave Vala alone if you're not going to change.
Right. I appreciated these words of wisdom from Teal'c.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Teal'c.
Yes.
But Jason's like, no, my daughter and I, we have a bond. We have an understanding. And she'll get over everything. It's going to be great. They spot Vala walking towards them, and he tries to ask her to go somewhere with her on Friday night to the Virginia monologues. He's like, I don't know much about it, but I got these tickets. And Vala sees him, but she just speed runs right past him, which I thought was good.
Spoiler alert, it's not Virginia dialogues.
I know. Yes.
Sometime later in Daniel's office, Vala comes in with some big boxes of books that I guess she's been helping him to move around. And then he asks her to maybe have a seat. He wants to talk to her. How are you doing? She's fine. But of course, they're going to have a little heart-to-heart chat about her feelings about Jasek. And it was really just more of the same. So I'm not going to bother to recap that because it is literally the exact same conversation that she's been having with everybody else about, you can't trust him, you don't know him like I do, he's just scamming everybody.
Yep.
Then we are in the hallway outside of Jasek's apartment. Vala and Daniel are there knocking on the door, but there's no answer. So Vala just lets herself in with the lockpicking tools that she apparently just carries around with her up her sleeve at all time.
Just like her glass cutting tools.
Right. Yep, exactly.
You gotta be prepared.
Yep. So they continue calling him a couple times, and he's clearly not there. They find the ankle monitor that he apparently was supposed to be wearing so that they could keep track of him. And this is just more validation that Vala has been right this whole time. Daniel, for whatever reason, felt the need to rub it in while you were starting to believe him too. Why'd you say that, Daniel? That's just
Daniel.
Obnoxious. Come on.
That is so extremely unhelpful.
Vala doesn't think it's likely that they're ever going to find him again if he has decided to leave. But Daniel says that not only did he have that ankle monitor, but he also had one of those subcutaneous transmitters that the team all has been outfitted with, just in case, which does beg the question of why bother with the ankle monitor.
Would Jasek not have noticed them implanting a thing like that in him?
That was going to be my next question. Maybe they told him they were just giving him vaccinations or something?
Maybe.
Who knows?
Okay, guys.
I don't know.
I mean, scam your scammer by all means, please.
Yes. Yep. Daniel gets on the phone with Sam to tell Sam and Mitchell, who's also there, what is going on. And Sam says that his locator signal places him about 6 miles west of Colorado Springs.
They track Jasek
Yeah.
to some clearing somewhere. I don't know.
A park. Somewhere.
Daniel and Vala have been on his trail the whole time, so they're the ones who are there physically. Sam is monitoring him from the SGC. And we see that Jasek is talking to some guy. Making a deal. 3 for you, 3 for me of something. 1 more for me. See? For the house, as we call it. And Daniel turns to Vala and is like, didn't know your dad had any friends on Earth. And Vala did not either. Jasek continues to make his deal while Daniel and Vala close in on him. Daniel does say his name, and the guy with him turns around and tries to zap Daniel. Daniel shoots him. That guy's dead, probably?
Probably. Well, he only shoots him once, though, right? Oh, wait, no, he had an actual gun,
He had
though.
an actual
The other
gun.
guy had that gun, right. Yeah, so yeah, probably he's dead.
Yeah. They take a look at the guy, and he's got a Jaffa mark on his head. So, what's that guy doing on Earth, do you
Right?
think? And why is Jasek talking to him?
Next, we are in the briefing room with SG1 and Landry. They're updating Landry on what was going on with Jasek. He had a short-range communicator that he was probably using to communicate with the Jaffa and must have snuck it in somewhere with his clothes or whatever. They did not destroy all of the ships that were supposed to be coming to Earth. I was wondering if they destroyed any, since, again, we never got verification if there were ships there. But supposedly there is one ship that was dispatched earlier and that has made it all the way to Earth and is now just sitting on the planet somewhere.
It's just been commissioned. It's a good ship.
Waiting for the order to strike. Apparently, Jasek had found out about this from some Jaffa as he was involved in some kind of a weapons smuggling operation. And so when he found out about the cargo ship, he thought he would take advantage of that to just come hide out on Earth for a while, I guess, is their reasoning with all this. And then, of course, once he was here, he made a deal with the Jaffa too so that he could try to get some Naquadah to sell. Landry asks where that cargo ship is located, but Jasek doesn't know. And they say the Jaffa that was his contact is gone. And by gone, of course, dead, because Daniel killed him.
Who shot me?
But they don't say that. Vala wants to know why they can't locate the cargo ship the same way that they did with the others, but this one is cloaked, so they won't be able to find the Naquadah because of that cloaking technology. Sam, though, says that somehow this Naquadah was special. Arcad had marked it in some way, so they just need to calibrate their equipment.
Ah, yes,
properly.
the magic Naquadah.
To find it, yeah. Very convenient. Vala asks what Jasek asked for in return for all this information that he has given them about this Naquadah ship parked somewhere. And Mitchell says that he wants them to sell it and then split the profits 50-50. Landry asks what the counteroffer was, and Mitchell says his counteroffer was that Jasek gets 0 and they don't send him to jail for the rest of his life. And he took that offer.
Seems reasonable.
Indeed.
And then we are in Dr. Lee's lab with
Yay.
Sam and Jasek and Dr. Lee. They are trying to find the Naquadah through this special means they need to use. The whole point of this scene seems to be to take more pot shots at the show being canceled, because I did read about this. So Jasek talks about how he's disappointed in the SGC. He was expecting more, and Sam's like, yeah, the Stargate program just doesn't get the support it used to from the people in charge. And then Dr. Lee shouts, Eureka, when Jasek asks why not, which is a reference to the lovely show Eureka that was also on the Sci-Fi Channel at the time.
Which is an excellent show, but also has some problems in the later seasons with it not being so good anymore.
Indeed. And Jasek says, well, after all your Stargate program has accomplished for this network of planets, I would think the decision makers would have more respect. Sam's like, yeah, me too. Then he asks Sam out, and she's like, no, you're a gross creep.
Jasek asks her out, not Dr. Lee, right?
Yes.
Okay, because I was like, for a minute, I was
Sorry.
like, Dr. Lee asked her out? Why is she saying he's a jerk? I love Dr. Lee, but it was Jasek.
Yeah, no. Dr. Lee has his little fan group. He doesn't need to ask Sam out anyway.
Right.
Then plus their colleagues. It's all good. All good. Anyway, yeah. So she tells him the reason she thinks he's a jerk is because of the way he treats Vala.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometime later, we are now catching up with Landry and Dr. Lamb, which we still don't care about, but Lamb is calling him to remind him about dinner.
It's dinner time!
Landry is dismayed because he clearly forgot all about it, even though he says he didn't, but he does mention that some very important things come up, and he asks if they can reschedule. And Dr. Lamb is very annoyed and says that her mom is heading back in the morning, and so they cannot reschedule. Landry definitely seems like he's going to be backing out because he says he's dealing with a major situation there. But ultimately, when Lamb asks very frustratedly what Landry expects her to tell her mom, he says, tell her I'll be there.
Okay.
Yeah. And then Sam comes in. They've finished calibrating the device and they've got a lock on the location. The place is only just about 30 miles away that the ship is hiding out. Not too surprisingly, one of the targets was the Stargate, so that is why it happens to be conveniently close by. Landry's going to send out some tactical units to try to go and find it. Jasek actually was there with Sam, which I forgot about, and says that he has no doubt that if the Jaffa think that the location is compromised, that they're going to detonate it, so make sure you're as careful about it as possible and take them off guard. Jacek offers to help. Nobody wants his help, but then he says that the cargo ship is rigged to blow no matter what, even if they do manage to take them by surprise, but he knows the override codes, so you have to take me with you.
Of course.
Yeah. Yeah. Give me this one final shot at redemption. Come on, you gotta let me help.
So they do. And next, Vala is walking around in the woods in her cool black leather outfit while he's in his dumb leather outfit.
Yeah. Your hiking bondage gear.
Yeah. Jacek wants to remember fondly the times of past and how they used to spend time together when she was a kid. And Vala reminds him they were running for their lives from the authorities. So, more of the same back and forth between them. She's mad because he couldn't even pull off this simple Anaquita deal without complicating things with his side scams. You're sloppy, she tells him. Sam radios to Vala to let her know where the Anaquita signal is coming from. It's about half mile north of her position. Vala's like, cool, I'll let you know when I find it. Then we get a quick scene in the SGC where Teal'c is briefing Landry that he has delivered the package somewhere. We don't know where or what the package is. But Landry says, all right, cool. Just let me know what is going on. Landry looks at the time and Walter's like, do you have somewhere to be, sir? And Landry's like, shut up. But only with his eyes, because he doesn't tell Walter to shut up. But his eyes definitely told Walter to shut up.
They sure did. Back out in the woods, Jacek and Vala are continuing to catch up. He wants to know whatever happened to the boy that she liked, the one whose father was a merchant. And she says that they were 10. That's why they never ended up together, because he moved away and they were only 10. Jacek is disappointed to hear that. Vala has no interest in trying to let him endear himself to her, though, so she tells him to knock it off. And she says that she thinks that he's involved in Arkad's plot against Earth. So, yeah, there. Apparently, all of their talking has drawn the attention of some Jaffa, and we hear staff weapon powering up. And then some guards come out of, I don't know, the woods. There's several more of them than there are of Jacek and Vala. So Jacek says, it's me and my partner, right? She's my daughter. How pretty. Gross. And they're just here to check out the merchandise. Is that okay? But one of the Jaffa says that there's a change in plans, and they no longer need Jacek, nor his partner. Vala has her radio open and says, "Oh, you idiot," which is apparently the code for the rest of the team to come in.
Woo!
They're a ways off, though, so Vala's got to continue to try to stall a bit. She tells everybody that there's no need for them to carry on their attack. Arkad's dead, so why bother sacrificing yourself? And also, Jacek wants to know why bother sacrificing the Anaquita, if that doesn't need to happen. This Jaffa says that he thinks that selling the Anaquita or making some kind of a deal with Jacek was the intention of that other Jaffa who ... disappeared. Jacek says he probably just got lost in the woods. They're big. But this Jaffa's had enough. He's about to shoot them both. Jacek doesn't want to watch his daughter die, but then he doesn't want to watch himself die either. And that's when finally the rest of the team gets there and manages to take the Jaffa out. Meanwhile, they tell Vala to get to the ship.
Get to the chopper!
Vala makes her way to another clearing. So many clearings in these woods.
So many.
Vala zats him, and she and Jacek stop, and she picks up a rock and throws it. And oh my goodness, there's a ripple. There's a cargo ship there.
What?
They found the cargo ship. Woohoo! Vala goes to get on the ship, but Jacek's like, hang on, I gotta do this. I have the code. If you go first, we're all gonna die. I gotta take care of this. Don't worry. And you stay here. I'm not risking your life. I'm gonna be big, strong dad right now and put in the code. And he gives her... he gives her the same necklace that he tried to give her earlier in this episode.
That she refused to take.
Yes. She does take it at this point. We get a quick scene of Daniel and Mitchell wandering in the woods, or whatever they're doing in the woods. Basically hanging out in the woods.
Yep.
And then we're back with Jacek inside the ship. he fires up the ship and takes off.
Curse your sudden but inevitable betrayal.
And Vala radios him and is like, Jasek? And he's like, sorry, there was no override code at all. I totally scammed you again. But I love you. Bye!
So shocking. So shocking that he was scamming them the whole time, as Vala was telling them.
Yeah. Goddamn.
Yep. So Vala's standing there in the clearing, clearly upset. I was annoyed that Vala was upset because if everybody else hadn't been so shittily trying to convince her that she needed to believe her dad and she just went with her instincts to not believe her dad, she would not be so sad and disappointed right now. But here we are. She's very sad and disappointed. She comes over to Teal'c, who's on the ground, and helps him up. He asks if everything went as planned, and she says it did on their end. She radios to Sam. She says the real cargo ship is secure, so apparently that one was a whole ploy. Sam asks about, I guess we didn't need that override code then, and Vala confirms, nope, you didn't. They radio back to Landry at the base to let him know everything is good. Landry says, great, gotta go, and he rushes out. And Walter is like, what the hell's happening? Basically. Doesn't say anything, but has a weird look as he watches Landry go.
And then Landry appears in civilian clothing at a restaurant, looking around for his family like, oh my god, I missed them. But then some people move out of his way and there's Lamb at the table. She just let him know he's late and he's like, I got here as soon as he could. And then a woman behind him, who's presumably his ex-wife / Lamb's mom, is like, you're here and that's what counts. Ugh.
They're uncomfortably close to the hostess stand, I noticed, at this table. It was weird. They were like right behind it.
Last minute reservations. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
Can't get a good table.
Yep. And then she says that they have a lot to talk about, and Landry agrees. I was like, what? What do you have to talk about?
Ooh, what you been doing the last 12 years or whatever, 5 years since we've talked?
Just so weird.
It's so fun. Yay. But I guess they're all going to have a big happy family dinner. It was
Clearly
so dumb, and I really could not have cared any less.
Exactly. I very much agree. But anyway, we don't actually see the dinner. Next, we are with Jasek in his cargo ship. There is a guy there with him that he is clearly trying to trade some stuff with. He's told the guy that he's got tons of weapons-grade Naquita, and this guy says this is a cargo crate full of lead bars and these things, which are packing peanuts. Or packaging curls, as the transcript wants to call them. Which is weird. But Jasek is like, yeah, they're really great. They're virility enhancers. Go ahead and try one. I'm hoping these are the ones that are made out of cornstarch rather than styrofoam.
I hope so.
Because the guy does go ahead and eat one. And then Jasek, to try to really sell him on the point, says, yeah, I'm going to keep some of these for myself, too, but you should buy them. And they're going to talk deal. We talk the same language, right? Yeah. So he has learned absolutely nothing and gets no sort of comeuppance whatsoever.
Yeah, I wrote in my notes, I hope he fucking dies. I really, really hated him.
Yeah. Also, I think I said comeuppance instead of comeuppance, but whatever. I like comeuppance better.
Yeah. Comma pens.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we get a final wrap-up scene in Vala's quarters. We learn that Vala did, in fact, keep her box of her father's trinkets. She adds the necklace he gave her to that box.
How did she not lose this when she was a Goa'uld?
I don't know. None of this makes any sense.
It really doesn't.
I feel like the Goa'uld would have, destroyed it just for fun at her expense.
Exactly. Or wherever it was that she had been living as a human, I wouldn't think that people would just leave it empty for her and waiting.
Yeah.
Unless her mom is there and she got it back from her mom, in which case, where's her mom?
I don't know.
I want to see her mom.
Well, I know.
Her mom sounds better from what we've heard.
Then we could have a mom-daughter-granddaughter reunion in the last couple episodes where her mom can learn about her evil granddaughter.
Right.
Yeah.
Her dad doesn't get to learn about his evil granddaughter, but we can find out about her mom learning about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, that is not what happens.
No. Instead, Sam stops by with a bottle of wine and some glasses for some girls' talk. Girls' night in.
Yeah.
Vala tells Sam everything's fine. Everything went according to plan. I'm okay. Cool. Vala asks where the boys are, and Sam says that Mitchell has a date and Daniel's tired, and Teal'c got tickets to some show. And the final scene of this episode is Teal'c walking into a theater full of women, watching the screen as the narrator starts talking about vaginas, because this was actually not the Virginia monologues, it is the vagina monologues. And Teal'c is way out of his element.
Yep. Looks very uncomfortable as he looks around and realizes where he is.
Yeah. That's the end of the episode.
End of episode. Kathy, I know many of the reasons that you didn't like this episode and that you didn't like this episode. Is there anything you'd like to add?
Not really. It was a terrible placement of the episode. It would have been a fine, bad episode if it didn't take place so close to the end of the... Yeah, I don't have anything new to say. Like, it was just going to be stupid. And all their cutesy music throughout it did not make it fun or entertaining for me. And yeah, I didn't like Vala's dad. I didn't like it. Don't care about Landry and Lamb. Same thing. So yeah, I had nothing new to add. What about you?
Yeah, it pretty much the same thing. I hated a lot of this. And as a person who has had issues with her parent, it really annoyed me how everybody was judging Vala so much for not wanting to give him another try. When, as she pointed out, you don't know him, you don't know their relationship. Leave her the fuck alone and don't judge her for it.
Yeah.
Like, it was just so shitty. And if you have a relative, it doesn't matter if it is a blood relative. If you have a relative that treats you like garbage and puts no effort into the relationship, you are not obligated to maintain a relationship with them. You do not need to continue to work to try to be on good terms with this person if they clearly don't care and continue to treat you terribly. There's no obligation there. So it really annoyed me that everyone was trying so hard to get things to work out with Vala and her dad. One thing I did appreciate, though, was that like most of these stories where there's a bad relationship between a daughter and a father that is portrayed on like TV or movies, they have them reconciling at the end no matter how bad their relationship was. So I kind of appreciated that one bad relationship was on the way to reconciliation. And they did show here with Vala and her dad that not all of them can be fixed or reconciled, which was literally the only thing I appreciated about this episode, as I said.
Yeah.
But I was just very annoyed. And also the whole timeline of how her dad is here made no sense to me.
They've thrown time out the window, and the last episode lasted years or weeks. We don't know.
Unknowable.
What are we going to talk about next? Please let it be something not god-awful.
Right? Seriously. Next is Stargate Atlantis Season 3, Episode 18, Submersion. The team discovers an ancient drilling station deep beneath the surface of the ocean, only to find that a Wraith Queen is still alive there.
Oh.
That is TVDB. Over at IMDb, the Atlantis team finds an ancient underwater research facility and puts a team together to check it out.
Okay.
Very non-specific.
Yes.
Interesting.
Okay, well, hopefully that will be better than this episode.
Indeed.
And less distressing than the last Atlantis episode.
Right. Quite.
I hope.
So now to wrap things up here and put a little bit more of a serious spin on this, we do need to tell everybody that we've been working on this podcast since September of 2020, and we have been having a fantastic time with it, talking to you all about all of these ridiculous episodes, even the ones that were shitty like this one. But a lot has changed for us in the last 5.5 years, as is, of course, the case for everybody. But unfortunately, with constantly changing and busy schedules, it's become increasingly difficult for us to keep producing the show and recording regularly, as well as staying on top of everything else like social media and emails, as probably some of you have noticed, who I'm sure have been sending us messages and emails that we have not yet responded to. And also, we're just tired after having such busy schedules for so long. The fact that they killed off Beckett so recently definitely doesn't help because we're still both a bit mad at Atlantis for that. So if there's one thing that we've learned from SG1, it's that you don't want to keep things going for 2 seasons longer than they really should. And if there's anything that we've learned from Jack, it's that sometimes it is okay to just stop before you reach the end, before things get too stale. So after a lot of discussion and consideration, we have decided that we're going to wrap up the podcast, even though we haven't finished Atlantis. We're not going to come to a completely abrupt stop. So this is not our last episode. Don't worry. We are going to finish out both seasons that we're currently on. And we're also going to cover both movies for SG1 so that we can completely close out that series. We've also decided that we're going to drop our Stargate Origins episodes into the main feed for those of you that haven't heard them yet, if you want to have a little bit extra content. And then we're going to be bookending that with the movies. So one movie before that, then Origins, and then the other movie after that. So we just wanted to give everybody a heads up now rather than waiting until the last minute or just ghosting everybody, as I know some other podcasts tend to do. And we also know how awesome all of you are and appreciate you being with us for so long. And we hope and we're sure that you're going to understand, and we really appreciate that. So with that, Kathy, is there anything else for this episode?
Not for this episode, just a heartfelt thank you to all of you.
Indeed.
Yeah.
We appreciate it. But we'll still be back for a handful more.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you so much for listening to Stargazing with Kathy and Mary. Our fully listener-supported program couldn't be done without you. Show your support by telling everyone you know how awesome this show is. Find us at stargazing.space. Reach us by email, stargazing@gmail.com. Find us on social media at Blue Sky. Get some merch, tinyurl/stargazing. And finally, show your financial support at patreon.com/stargazing. Thank you for traveling through the gate with us. Catch you next time on Stargazing with Kathy and Mary.
I'm Mary.
I'm Kathy.
And you've been listening to Stargazing, the end.
The end. And sure, I was a bad dad and a bad father. Bad dad and a bad father. That's the same thing.
It is.